Well, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about starting my journey on how I started a woodworking business, give you some of the pros and cons and tips and tricks in hopes that if you are starting a business of your own, you can dodge some of the mistakes that I made in the 12 years that I have been running the Imagination Woodshop. If you've been following my channel for a while now, you'll know that I've kind of been posting a little less frequently and haven't posted anything in a while. I'm an educator for my main job, and the last few months have been crazy. In April, I got the flu. In May, I got COVID, so I've kind of been forced to downshift a little bit. I do have 4 videos actually currently in the works and about 7 different projects ideas. It's going to take me right into the fall, but they're just not ready yet. So here we are. I will also tell you as a general disclaimer, this video is based on my opinions and my experiences over the last decade in starting my own business. And so I hope you can use this video with research that you're probably and should be doing in conjunction when trying to start a business of your own. And I will tell you, I am going to focus on the handyman as well as like the craft show artisan style of business plan, rather than if you want to become, say, a professional cabinet maker, or maybe you're looking in construction or framing. This really isn't the video for you. But with that, let's go ahead and get started. First question that people always ask is, should I start a woodworking business? And if I do, can I make a living at it? And at the end of the day, how do I make money? The first answer to that is, heck yeah, you should start a woodworking business, because if you've got a dream and you've got the drive and vision, I mean, why not? There's nothing you can't accomplish. I will say that people nowadays are always looking for a skilled craftsman, a skilled artisan to help them take on a number of projects. Lots of times people have simple projects that they just simply don't have the tools for. And it really doesn't take a whole lot of experience or expertise, just a little bit of hard work, a little bit of know-how and common sense, and you can really make this work. So then in that, yeah, it's totally worth it to start a business. I will tell you for myself, I started the Imagination Woodshop way back in 2010. I pretty much started the business with a table saw from Home Depot, and I convinced my wife that I should buy a $500 variable speed DeWalt 788 scroll saw. I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and I certainly didn't have money to spend on tools, but I guaranteed her that it would not only make its money back, but I would make a profit and a successful business based completely on that scroll saw. I did it in 2 ways. One was doing odd jobs for people locally as I started to expand my footprint. And 2, I started in the craft show world. If the craft show world is not part of your business plan, you feel free to fast forward through this section of the video. But having said that, if you are a local woodworker, I will tell you, the craft show world is a fantastic way to build up a list of contacts quickly in both the customer base and fellow woodworkers who you can refer jobs to, and then who will refer jobs back to you. So it really is a nice little community, and so I wouldn't scoff at it, and it would be something that I would heavily consider if I were you. So the obvious first question that people tend to ask is, how do I get involved in the craft show business? Well, I would say to you, try and find a product that you can make that won't involve using 18 different kind of tools. I chose scroll work puzzles. It needed the scroll saw, and I could pretty much do everything with that one tool. Also find something that you love to make, not just one time, but something that you still can tolerate making the 100th time or maybe the 500th time, because it's going to be about more production rather than one-offs. Another question people tend to have is, what sells? Well, I will tell you, Go to your local craft shows in the fall or your street markets or your vendor fairs and just walk around and see what's on sale. If you like making pins, but you see a pin guy every 10 feet, maybe pins aren't going to be your market. Try to look for something that's a unique product that you don't see often. And also one that is handcrafted, because people are going to be willing to spend more on something that you've made that's handcrafted, but something that you can also produce in a reasonable amount of time. Like I say, for me, it was scroll work puzzles that had that sweet little spot for me. And then talk to people at the show. I will tell you that fellow woodworkers and craft show people, they are brutally honest about what it took to get them to that particular show and just their business model in general. They can tell you prices and all sorts of stuff that goes into what it took to get them to that spot. Also, you may want to find the people who are running that particular show, because a lot of times they'll be able to give you an application for the following year's show, and that way you can see how much does it cost, what you can and can't sell, booth size, typically like a 10 by 10, and all the logistics that you need to basically have a booth at that show. And I cannot emphasize this enough, but craft shows will make you money. In a typical weekend, I can make anywhere between $750 to maybe $1,000 in profit. So let's say you go through that and you got a product, you've got a business name, you are ready to sell. The first thing you're going to need to do is get a sales tax permit. You're going to have to check your local state guidelines, but like I say, here in Texas, it is a free thing to apply for. And you don't need an LLC or an Inc. You literally just need a business name and to fill out the application. You have to have this sales tax permit, otherwise it is illegal to sell your goods. And nothing gets you in trouble quicker with Uncle Sam than not doing the proper accounting and doing your sales tax. I will tell you, sales tax is different than income tax, and depending on your business and how much product you are selling, you may have to submit your sales tax either quarterly or annually. My best recommendation for that is literally Google sales tax permit and your state, and you can find all the information you need from your state comptroller. Once you have that in hand, you're ready to sell. You fill out your applications, pay your booth fee, and you're good to go. So in terms of sales, I will tell you I take cash and I take card. My recommendation to you is have some sort of application or some device that you can use to take credit cards. That's extremely important. I use Square. The Square reader is what you see where they just literally plugs into a phone and you can run your credit card through it. It's real slick, it's real easy, and it's one flat fee. And I will tell you, if you're running stuff at a craft show in a high-paced environment, you don't have time to do accounting. What Square will do for you, it will actually generate your sales reports, your receipts, and everything that you need for the accounting purposes. Having something like Square, it is worth the small fee that you will pay to use it. The other part of that and being able to generate that accounting is you're going to need to find a CPA. My recommendation, a CPA is a certified public accountant, is to find a professional that can help you with your other taxes, because besides sales taxes, you have your regular income taxes. A CPA can help you do all of the legal but unknown things, like, say, write off the depreciation of that brand new saw stop you bought, or maybe you're using your garage as your business space and you can deduct the square footage of that garage, or be able to do your losses and to be able to write off your losses versus your income. Because let's say your first year you make $20K in profits. That's awesome. You're paying tax on that $20K of profits. But if you spent $30K in expenses because of materials, rent, those type of things, it's going to be important to have someone like a CPA to run those taxes so you're not overpaying to Uncle Sam. Here's the deal. At the end of the day, Having a CPA is CYA, so just protect yourself. I will tell you the craft show side of things can be a grind and it can be monotonous. So the other aspect of being able to expand your business and to get in maybe more things that you enjoy is building two important things. One, your local presence, and one, your online presence. The first thing you need to do for an online presence is you probably need a website. I'm not telling you you need to spend money on a website. I actually get my website that I made through Wix.com, and I use the free version. You don't have to pay money on this. In fact, a lot of the online social presence is not pay to play. You can get a Facebook Business Suite site for free. You can post on Instagram, you can post on Twitter and on TikTok. Put your name out there. I will tell you though, probably the most useful online piece that I was able to do was having a Google business page. One of the smartest things I did was create that. It was free. And as I started to build my list of contacts and started to do projects for people, I wasn't afraid to ask them to do a review. People don't mind doing reviews. If you've spent time working with a customer and you've been bending over backwards to produce something that is amazing for them, having that local review from them is going to speak volumes for your business. And I will tell you, when someone Googles woodworker in your local area, the goal is your stuff comes up to the top. And people are going to check your Google rating. People are going to read those reviews before they ever pick up the phone. So I highly recommend setting up a Google page. As a little side note, Google also will give you a business phone number. You can sign up for that for free. I actually have a business phone number that it ports to my cell so I can actually get all my business done and all that and keep it separate from the personal stuff all on one device. So it's kind of a convenient thing to use as well. A couple other important things I want to mention as you're starting to do more projects for people is if you have a local, say like a Home Depot or a Lowe's near you, you can use that sales tax permit to buy your stuff tax-free. Caveat is it's the consumable items that you are putting on to your customer, i.e. like the wood you're going to use. If you're building a table for somebody and you're charging that person a local sales tax on that table, then you don't have to pay that sales tax up front. They are paying that sales tax and then you are submitting that sales tax to your local comptroller. So that's just really important to note. A lot of those places will also let you sign up for a free business account where you can get some perks or some inside sales that you might not get otherwise. Besides the big box stores, I always recommend looking at local businesses that can tie into your business. For me, a woodworking business, I have a lumber mill that's really close to me. This lumber mill, this is where I get all of it from. I tend to use poplar a lot, and I can buy it from them in bulk a lot cheaper than anywhere else. They also have a better selection of stuff. I mean, if I need cherry or walnut or a piece of Wenge or a Paduke, I can get it from them when I can't just go to a Lowe's and pick it up there. So always look for other local artisans, always look for other local businesses that can have that symbiotic relationship that can benefit you as you're building your own business. And then the last tip I want to give you is just be organized. This may be the hardest thing, and it's probably the most boring part of the job. But when it came to craft shows, I always had a checklist of items that I needed for each show. I always had an running inventory, so I knew what I had in stock and what I needed to make more of. I always kept spreadsheets of all of my business expenses as well as my profits, because those are all things that I can submit to my CPA that will use to help take care of my taxes. And I will tell you, if you want to have a viable business, this is just a must. It's not fun. It's not the sexy part. It's not building the product, but it's something that you have to do if you want to make it work. If you're gonna generate income, you have to be organized. So if you can't be organized, find somebody close to you who is and have them help you out. Pay them if need be, but always, always, always be organized. Like I say, if you do these things, you work hard, you stay committed, you're probably not going to get rich, but you can make this a viable income source to support you and those that you love. Like I say, it's a lot of work, and it took me a little over 10 years to get to where year 12 to get to where I am now. And I'll be the first to tell you that my motivation, it ebbs and flows. The monotony of doing craft shows and building the same product over and over got old. That's why it was nice to take on the odd job. It mixes things up and it keeps things fun, because a hobby is always really different than a job. So just keep that in mind. Try to keep it fun, because it will get hard, it will get boring, and you will have deadlines. But hopefully, if you can work through all of that, you can come up with something that is successful. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. Definitely different than my usual videos, but hopefully you could take something from this that you can use in starting up your own business, or even starting up your own hobby that might turn into something someday. In the meantime, though, like I say, more videos on the horizon. Pay attention to those. They are coming. But in the meantime, I just truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.